Check, check, check. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as we always do. But before we get started, I got to say that was a great game yesterday. Everybody, that's all my football fans out there, football fanatics, people that love the game. Good morning, Brandon. How you doing? Everybody that loved the game, and I hope you enjoyed that game yesterday. And what do you think about the halftime show? I saw some things and people commented. Some people said it was great. Some people said it was terrible. Um, I guess if you're not a hip hop fan, if you don't like hip hop music, you probably said it was terrible. And I can understand where you're coming from because that's not your genre. That's not the kind of music that you like. And so to have a halftime show with just hip hop and things of that nature may not have been what you wanted or what you wanted to hear. So I certainly understand that. But I'm gonna tell you something from where I'm sitting. I thought it was amazing. Brandon, what did you think? The number is 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to hear from you. Phone lines are open. And speaking of the phone lines, we have with us my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is from all the way down there from Mississippi. If you never heard about that, he's going to tell you where it is. This is my brother, Donald Toussaint. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. This is Donald Toussaint. I am from Opelousas, Louisiana, originally, but I live in Pascagoula,
Mm,
Mississippi.
boy, that's a lot of letters. That's a lot of letters. That's a Toussaint. That's a lot of letters, brother. Hey, Toussaint, tell me something, brother. Did you look at the game yesterday, the Super Bowl?
Yes, sir. No, sir. Make my blood pressure go up. I don't watch games.
Oh, okay. So,
Uh,
so you didn't see that halftime show?
no, sir. I'm gonna have to take a look at it.
Man, look at here. That halftime show to me, and like I said, man, I've seen some people say that they really didn't care for it too much, and it's okay because some people just don't like hip hop or rap, hip hop music, however you call it, and they didn't care too much for it. So I could understand that. But I'm gonna tell you something. From where I was sitting, man, I thought it was amazing,
Hmm.
man. I thought it was amazing. It was great. It was put together very well. And that doggone Mary J. Blige, and look here, I'm gonna tell you something too. So I'm gonna segue real quick. Watch this segue. Mary J. Blige is from the same place that my next caller. This is my sister from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Miss Toya with the T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning. How you doing?
Hey,
Tell
doing.
you, tell you, tell you, tell you.
Good
To,
morning, King Donald.
hey, Donna
What's
always say.
really going on around the camp?
Exactly. Donna always said, "Don't mess with Toya. Don't mess with Toya."
No,
Yeah,
mm-mm,
But listen,
they're not.
they're right. The whole world know that. I work with a kind of don't mess with me kind of swag, and I love it.
hey, Toya with a T. I know you looked at the Super Bowl, right?
No,
Oh, you didn't see the halftime show?
no, I don't
Oh,
listen. I told you that
oh,
before. I won't be fooling along with these ways of the world. I'm out here trying to make my own Super Bowl, get my own bread. I was out here trying to sell some plates. I want to think they all listen. Everybody at the Super Bowl, they set. They got money. Their kids drive cars. They colleges is paid off. But they're like,
hey,
well,
hey,
I'm
hey.
gonna go sit up there and use all my time looking at them. I got stuff to do. I'm behind schedule. No, sir,
Mm-hmm.
I did not. But I know
Mm-hmm.
it was awesome because I heard all of the great stars of performance that was on there. I
Man,
know it was
let's
awesome. But
man,
nah,
let's
baby, I'm sorry. I'm making this bread. I can't stop for people that already got the bread.
there you go. They and they make perfectly good sense to me. But I'm gonna tell you something. Your sister from New York. I think she's from Brooklyn as well. Mary J.
White
Blige.
Plains.
Mary, yeah, man, look, Mary did that thing, boy. Mary did that thing.
I know it. I love Mary. She's one of my most top favorite artists. As a matter of fact, all of them artists come from my era or
Hmm.
our era.
Yeah,
Y'all was
yeah.
just probably right ahead of me. So all of them come from my high school days. Trust me. I love every one of them artists. They were an inspiration then. Trust me, they are an inspiration now. So when I
Hmm.
can wrap this album up in April,
Come on
oh,
now.
trust and believe, you're gonna know I'm from that era.
Mm. So you about to drop you one?
I am. I'm not gonna die with it in me. I don't care if I'm too old. I don't care if I'm too funny looking. I don't care if I'm too broke. I'm going to do something because I should have done it years ago. The difference
Yeah.
between me and them is that they did it,
Hmm.
and that's
Hmm.
where they potentially. But ain't no telling what's gonna happen with me either. So no, there's not no dream that I'm gonna die with. I'm sorry.
There you go. That's good. That's powerful right there. But let me ask you this question: is there gonna be a version I can play on DKM?
Of course there is. There's going to be a version I would like to get y'all involved in too. I got a whole little skit in my head for me and DKM. It's going to be a whole little song, and I need everybody to get a little line or something there. But I'm working on it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Like I said, I want to make sure it's something I can play on DKM and my mama can listen to because I want my mama to hear you. I want my mama to hear you. Mama listening to you with a T.
No, I got you. I got you. Trust me, the Lord working on me, so I got you. I
Okay.
got everybody.
Good deal. And we got another caller. We're going to go to the call in a minute, but I'm going to ask both of y'all the question. I'm going to transition over to our caller. I thought about this morning, and I think about some weird stuff when I'm driving. I think about some weird things. Y'all know, man. Ain't always baked. I ain't fully baked yet. I'm still baking. But if you could have three artists, Toy, you would tell me coming to you first. Three artists. I'm gonna tell you who mine is, and I'm gonna tell you. I want you to tell me who yours are. If you could have three artists, you could take a piece of their voice and make the voice that you sing with. Who would that be? Mine would be
Ooh.
a combination between Prince. Now this look how weird this combination is. That's why I say I'm not all the way baked. It's Prince, Marvin Gaye with a topping of Luther. That would be
Okay.
the combination that I would want that I would have to sing with. That blend all of them together. However they do it, blend all those three: Luther, Prince, and Marvin Gaye. Loop them voices together some kind of way. That's my voice that I would want to sing with right there. Toy, who would your three be?
Oh, that's a great combination. I was looking for maybe a Michael Jackson or somebody in there, but that's a good three.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably do Whitney,
Mm-hmm.
Mariah,
Wow.
and it's a toss up between Patty or Aretha, but I think I would go with Patty because she got a little spice
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in her hair, and you know what I'm saying, in her
Mm-hmm.
voice. But I would probably go with Patty. Yeah, Mariah, Whitney, and Patty.
Wow. That's good. That's good. See, that's a heck of a range right there too, man. That's good.
What you talking about? You talking about a new attitude? What?
Absolutely. To start, what do you say to that? Who would your three be?
For a combination of voices.
Yes. You have to take
Barry White,
Barry White, okay.
James Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and Bootsy.
Lord.
I gotta mute out.
All right, good deal. Captain Leonard, good.
Mama, you sound like my mom.
Exactly. Exactly. Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Man, we asking the question, three combinations. Now you heard what my three is, man. And you heard Toya, and then you heard Donna. Donna came a little different, but he got his combination. That's his combination. Who would your three voices that you could combine together and come up with your singing voice? Who would those three be?
Yeah, I don't really think about it. I like Luther Vandross a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jill Scott Heron a lot, but I don't know if you call that a singing voice much.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to say, I think Luther Vandross. I mean, I don't think you have to combine voices and stuff like that. But I like Luther Vandross's voice.
Mm-hmm. But see, I got.
But you know, it's so unique. I like the uniqueness about it. I don't you know if I be you talking about combining three people.
Yeah. See, I would be.
That's great.
I'll be Prince, Marvin Gaye, and Prince, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. Put all three of
I
them.
like Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye
Mm-hmm.
singing.
So you're gonna
I
try
listen
to
a
take
lot
my.
of Gil Scott here. I like Gil Scott here.
Okay. See. Toyota T. Leonard gonna try to take my singing voice. See, he tried to use the same ones I had. He trying to take my singing voice from me. See, I'm trying to make my own millions. Here come Luther trying to take my voice.
I mean, I'm saying, you know what we do. We had somebody that sounds good, be like, "Oh, I can do that," and get up and do it too. So we got two people who sound alike, but that's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that go, right here?
Yeah. But you know what though, and it's good. I'm glad you said it because you took my mind another direction. Back in the day, when the generation, like you said, the generation that we had, it was amazing when you heard a certain song on the radio, you knew who it was. Now it's like everybody want to sound alike, and who is that? Who's singing that? Who you have to figure out and research and SoundCloud and sound whatever the thing is and find out who it is. But back in the day, when a Luther song came on, you knew it was Luther. Marvin Gaye, you knew it was Marvin. Earth, Wind, and Fire, you knew who it was. You knew who it was, man. But now everything is so so nobody have. There's no individuality. Frankie Beverly Mays, you knew who that was. You just heard, oh, that's Mays right there. You knew.
Raheem,
Mm-hmm.
be honest. Those were amazing
Yes.
musicians,
Yes.
artists. It's hard to top them guys. What are you saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think like our spirits is clean enough to be like some of them new. Like they set precedent.
Yes.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those people we just talked about, they set precedent
Mm-hmm.
for music, and those are very hard artists to top.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So
yes.
I don't even think that from a music aspect, not only do we look for that, but we don't even try to groom that. You understand what I'm saying? We try to go for something right now because we don't have that kind of talent. You talking about Prince and Mike, and most of them play their own instruments. They knew notes. They wrote their own notes. You understand what I'm saying? Like we just don't have artists like that anymore. And I think that's part of the reason why we don't get those kind of people in music anymore.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Watch this. Now, Leonard, I know Prince is one of your favorite artists. Prince is one of your favorite artists. You talk about Prince all the time. It's been one of the greats. Do you think creatively, with the level that Prince was on, you put any instrument in front of Prince, he could play it. He'll play it. Okay, here it goes. This is like this, and jam out on it. Would there ever be another Prince?
No, I don't think so. That's impossible.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's just impossible. That's why I don't kind of think about, stuff like that, because one, I believe it is unique.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say it's impossible though? Why do you say impossible? It's interesting that you said that.
You think of if you even try to think, there isn't another Toya.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not like you have to be famous or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's simply the uniqueness of a person. I've never met one person that was exactly like another person.
Mm-hmm.
That should not be that foreign.
Exactly. But why does all these artists sound so similar? Like I said, back in the day when you had Frankie Beverly Mays, Earth, Wind, and Fire, you had Luther, you had all the other artists, man. A song came on the radio. Oh man, that's my man. They done came out with a new one. You knew who it was. Now you almost got to research, man, because everybody sounds so much alike. Where's the individuality?
Well, I mean, people are they may sound alike, but even with artists that use the same beats a lot, every song is different. It may not be as entertaining, but even then, even if I didn't like music, I appreciate people doing what they enjoy.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about people sounding alike and stuff like that, that's because that's what they desire. That's what they hear. They sound alike. So like what Toya said, hey, I think I sound a little bit like that. Come on, I try to make a record. and they go and they make a record
but
because they sound like someone else they know. But even then, they not just like that person. I don't think it's a lot of I like artists. You know what I'm saying? Creators.
But see, and
performers, entertainers, whatever they do.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but my thing is this right here, and back and then I'm going back in the day, and the phone lines are open. People asking what the phone number is. 508-924-35. I forgot for a second. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521 is the number. You could definitely give us a call. Phone lines are open. But my thing is, back in the day, man, there was so much individuality, man. You know, you didn't have to worry about that. You just knew. And now it's almost like copycat. It's like almost like a copycat industry now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but you know what? To an extent, it's always been. Again, you got to keep in mind, like I said, we had different artistry back then. And now this is a different culture. You have to think about. So I'm just gonna throw this out there, right? Like in '99, even though I didn't do it, the goal when I was working, I had an opportunity to be a rapper, and it was like they are things they suggest you to be like. Such and such is popping right now, so and so popping right now, and you got this voice, but this is what that. So kind of in a way, it's like they kind of do get you to sound like somebody, but oftentimes as the artist, you don't want to sound like nobody else. You want to sound like you when you're a true artist and not somebody who's playing the game for the money. And back then we had a lot of true artist voices. Now I think we have a lot of people who are willing to do anything. Well, at any rate, full deal on this opportunity to become a rapper, and he said to me, well, you can't look like Aaliyah, you have to look like Lil Kim and Foxy Brown.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
So we already know that means I could not have a lot of clothes on. They wanted me in bikinis, they wanted me in one pieces. And don't get me wrong, at that time, 19, great body, I was doing it anyway. But I remember thinking, how am I going to feel letting other little girls see me, thinking, because I'm giving them the image that it's okay, even though inside I know it's not okay. And I remember walking away from it. However, in that industry, they always kind of get you to like top the person that's out. And I think that sometimes you can get the impression that means to sound like a person. And if you don't have a great team behind you, you understand what I'm saying? Then it's going to teach you the truth. Then everybody's going to sound the same because you're just a product. You're not an artist. You understand what I'm saying? And in that game, I learned a lot about the music business, not about being an artist. So nowadays, they don't mold artists.
Yeah.
They mold, you know what I'm saying? People who just going to do whatever they say, wear whatever they say. If they say act like a baby and stand outside with the diaper on, then you know what I'm saying? People are willing to do that now. And I think that is spilling over into the actual craft itself. A lot of people are sounding alike because, the executives or the individuals who are putting you out there, that's the concept that they have, but not necessarily the formula.
Wow. That's good. Good morning, Charles. How you doing this morning?
What's up, G?
Man, I start off with a question. I want to ask you this question now. You're about to be an artist. You can actually create, go into the lab and create how you sound. You pick three different. I want you to pick three different artists that you want to take your sound from. The ones that I picked, I said I wanted Prince, I wanted Marvin Gaye, and I wanted Luther Vandross. Combine those voices together in some kind of way, and what you come out with is what I sound like.
That'd be a good sound, man.
Yes, sir.
That'd be a good sound.
Now pick your three. You got to pick three artists. Now don't pick mine. Now pick your own three artists, and you have to combine those voices together to be who Charles is going to be.
Oh man, I would do.
Raheem.
Yes.
What if he likes the same three you like though? You said don't pick mine. How do you know he don't like the same three artists you like?
See, he gonna do like Luther. Like Luther. He gonna do like Leonard did and pick my three. Don't pick my three, man. Y'all go ahead, pick what you want. No, seriously.
Well, I would pick Big Boy, CeeLo, and Dre. 3000, Andre 3000.
Okay, he went a totally different direction.
Okay then.
He went a totally different direction.
If you put them three together, yeah.
He came to the
You're
2000s.
an
Okay.
individual.
Good choice.
Because I heard y'all, you know, they're individuals. They sound different. You know, even though they're from the same area, they sound different. When I hear y'all, I heard the conversation of and the artistry and how it's changed. You know, everybody to me, you know, do sound the same. So yeah, even singing wise, you don't see singing groups anymore. You don't see any more singing groups like a Silk or you know, you don't see that anymore because I guess that's not what sells. You know, you don't
Exactly.
see Blackstreet. You don't see singing groups. You know, men singing groups or any of those women singing groups. You don't see that anymore. I mean, what's the last singing group that came out? Honestly, that's a Billboard group that's you know you don't really see that. You got Soul Sonic and what you call, but that was two people put together, or two guys, two entities put together. But you don't see singing groups anymore because that's not what sells. Everything sells is reverb, reverb, microphone, and, you know, everybody do sound the same. Music used to be regional. You know, you knew what somebody sounded like from LA, Louisiana, Atlanta, Memphis, Washington, Virginia. You know, everybody sounded different in their region. Now they're not. They're not
Now everybody
regional.
want to sound like, now it's one big melting pot, basically.
Right. That's pretty much what it is now. And what the lady before me was saying, I didn't hear her name because my phone's messing up.
Toy you with a T.
Okay, yeah, she's correct. They do pick you and tell you they'll tell you who you're gonna be and what you're gonna be. They do that because you know, Nicki Minaj wasn't that way before she started. You know? So they picked her and told her she had to be a certain way.
Wow.
But they've been doing that for a while too, man. Even back when Jermaine Dupri had Crisscross. You know, they picked them and made them be a certain way.
Exactly. And but you know, it worked for them, but you know, it doesn't always work. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we got an experiment going on this morning, and I need to hear what you're gonna do, how you're gonna go about it. And I'm very interested to see who you're going to select. You getting a music deal. You're getting a music deal. You can go into a laboratory. You can go into a laboratory, if you will, and pull three voices out, three great voices from the past, or even the present. Combine those voices together, and that's exactly what you're gonna sound like. My three that I selected was Prince, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. I'm going to combine those three voices together, and whatever I come up with is going to be my singing voice that I use. Cassandra, what three are you going to select?
And if somebody laughs, I'm coming at you too. I mean it. You cannot hide. I must put that out there first. So my three would be Barbra Streisand.
Oh yeah.
Billie Holiday.
Okay.
And Sade.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Because all three of them have powerful and beautiful voices. Beautiful voices. All of them.
They're unique. They're all unique. That's what I love about each one of them. Their voices are unique. When you hear them, you know it's them.
Yes.
And that is what I think is missing today.
And that's what I was saying earlier, because everybody sounds so much alike. Like back in the day when we was growing up and we was coming up, like when Frankie Beverly and Maze came on, you knew who that was. You knew who it was. Luther Vandross song come on. You know what Earth, Wind and Fire. You know who it was. Stevie Wonder, and you just name them, man. You knew who that was by their voice. Oh, that's Luther right there, man. Oh no, that's Stevie. That's Michael Jackson. You knew, but now you know it's almost like you got to do some research to figure out who this person is now. They sound so much alike.
Yeah, we're old now, and I have to, every time I hear a song, I'm asking my grandchildren, "Who's that?"
Yeah,
I have no clue,
exactly.
No idea, and all of them sound alike to me. That's my thing. 80% of them sound just alike.
Exactly. The same everything. Toya, what's on your heart, sis?
No, I was getting ready to say that's why. That's why we don't know who they are, because we old. We ain't got to do no research on young people. No, and just be honest about what's really going on here. You know, it's just a little disconnect we got going on because we busy working and paying bills and not listening to music, so we can't keep up. You understand what I'm saying? So it's cool. You understand? But no, you got to listen to the music to know the difference. Now that's the next part. Now see, this is where I'm just gonna step on up for the young folks, because my father, which was born in the 1940s, couldn't understand Run DMC either, Crisscross either.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? But when he learned how to identify with me as a human being and not just his daughter, he started to identify with me as a young woman, as my culture. What do you like? What do you like to wear? Why do you like to wear these kind of things? When he started to tap in and understand me, then he was able to like me, like, you will. Because I would have to tell him, but Daddy, just listen to the words. Just listen to what they be singing. And he couldn't keep up because he didn't grow up with that kind of rap. So now that's how I started rapping. Because I would have to rap the words to him now on what he said, and that's why I liked it. So then, by the time the late time come on, but like I said, the Drew Hill era, I like that song, and he bobbing to it now. But I had to teach him that don't just listen to that. Listen to the words. Like, really listen to what some of these guys or people be saying. And then that's where the open door is. So I think, again, that's part of the disconnect that most of us over 35 have with different music, because they are different. I do know who Drake is. I do know who Lil Baby is. I know who the Baby is. It took a minute in the beginning, but once I started to listen to those artists and buying their albums, I got familiar with their voice and their way. So now I know who Future is. I know if it's Future and Cardi B. I know if it's Cardi B or Nicki. You understand what I'm saying? So that's another reason why you got to do research now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not how you used to go buy Sade's album to learn her voice, to train your ear to hear that voice. You know, you used to go buy Luther's album, listen to Luther all the time to train your, you know what I'm saying, ear to who that is. And if you don't know these artists, that's because you haven't heard them before. And if it isn't for the fact that they sound like someone else, that makes you go research them, and it's like, oh, I thought that was such and such. You might not never know who the new artist is. So that's another reason why we can't forget about that part.
Exactly. Let me go to Badger. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Another blessed day.
Yes, sir. Badger, we asking about music, and you could we taking 3 different artists. You're gonna be a music artist, you're gonna be a singer, and we're taking 3 different artists, putting those voices together and come up with the voice that you're going to have. I said mine was Prince, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. I'm going to combine those 3 voices in some kind of laboratory in some kind of way, and whatever comes out is going to be the singing voice that I use. What would be the 3 that you would select?
Ooh. I'd say Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Fat Domino.
Okay.
And Syl.
Wow. That's a stretch, man. So yeah, that's from pulling from different angles and putting something together. So that's real good how you do that. Why did you select those 3 though? Go Fast Domino. I found my thrill. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What? See, so you didn't think I knew that, but go ahead, man. Why did you pick those 3?
Well, you're old enough. You should.
Watch your mouth now. See, now you're getting borderline disrespectful. Now go ahead, man.
Hey now. I'm young and I know it. I've always liked a lot of Johnny Cash's songs, and he's got an album or 2 out there that can really just grab people. It's just his voice. Fat Domino, same thing. And I mean, I already have a somewhat deep voice, so why not go with Syl? You got to be able to sway women one way or another. Especially for my wife.
Exactly. You look. You better say that. Tiffany Real, she said she had 3 very interesting ones, and I know y'all ladies gonna really appreciate this. She said Jill Scott, Patti LaBelle, and Chaka Khan. Jill Scott, Patti LaBelle, and Chaka Khan. What do you say about that? Let's go to Cassandra. What do you say to that? Cassandra, you there? Toya with a T, talk to me. Have I lost my phone, people? Leonard, you there?
I'm still on the phone right here.
Oh, okay, good deal. They might have stepped away. What do you think about those three? Jill Scott, Patti LaBelle, and Shaka Khan. Leonard, what do you say? What is that voice going to be like?
I love all three of them. I don't even desire to want to know what those all sound like together.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like them three. I would lose them three distinct voices by trying to make them one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because those are the powerful ones there, man. All three of them are absolutely amazing. Charles, what's on your heart, brother? I see you shaking your head in acknowledgement.
Yeah, those some strong voices right there, boy.
Yes, sir.
That might tear a room out, boy. The studio out. Those strong, man. If you ever heard any of them live, I heard Jill Scott live, and I've never heard Shaka Khan live, man.
I saw Shaka Khan. Actually, I saw her twice, man. And every time you see her, man, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Man, you know who had a crazy voice for real though? Live.
Who that?
Rick James, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Live, that dude had a crazy voice. People.
Mm-hmm.
He was wild. He had a wild concert. I remember going to his concert as a kid. I know I shouldn't have been there, but he had a wild, loud voice, man. Good voice.
I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite concerts that I ever been to in my life, man. And these two people came together at the same time. It was Rick James, but the headliner was Prince. Seeing them two together, and they had, I think they had somebody else opening up for him. I can't remember who it was to open up for him, man. But look here, Rick James came on the stage. He did what he did, man, and he left the stage fire hot red. And Prince just came and took it to a totally different level, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, wow. Two different styles, but they both played that guitar.
Exactly, man. That was, to me, till this day, and I've seen a lot of people, man. That was the best concert I ever seen, man. Collectively, that was the best concert.
I think my best concert was, honestly, it was a free concert at Emory.
Mm-hmm.
Roots and Fugees and Black Sheep.
Mm.
That was the best. And I've been to a lot of I used to be in radio, so I've been to a lot of concerts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. And that blew me away.
He's a black sheep. Who's a black sheep? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man.
Yeah.
It was bad, boy. That was a bad concert.
Mm-hmm. My favorite concert is three-way tie: Earth, Wind, Fire, Janet Jackson, and Chris Brown. That's what Tiffany said. Those three, yeah. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Toy, you want to take you back with us? Mute your line, Charles. Toy, you want to take you back with us?
I am.
Toya, who's your favorite concert that you've ever been to? Your favorite concert of all times?
Oh, don't y'all laugh at me. I never been to no concert.
Oh my Lord. I'm hurt. I'm sorry. I'm hurt.
Listen, I've always had this concept with giving people my money that already got bread.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that I've been to one play, and that was a Tyler Perry play. And then I was like, man, I've always been very just particular with my money. And even though everybody who, got a product out, don't mean I'm going to indulge in your product. So things like concerts, sometimes movies, I just don't be feeding them like that. But it doesn't mean I don't like them as an artist, Now,
mm-hmm.
I can't comment on how they perform, but when it comes to having a favorite, there's too many of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's too many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson is a great performer. Janet Jackson's a great performer. Justin Timberlake, great performer. Like some of these people that are up there, they are great performers for a reason. Jay-Z, even Usher, my boy, we went to school together, man. I know this man like a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand when I see him, I'm like, yo, if I ever had to pick anybody's favorite, hands down, just because me and him shared a friendship in high school,
mm-hmm.
I will always pick him because I know him personally.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of artists that put on awesome, great shows. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's the goal. And that's something to where I think if I was an artist, which I can't wait because there's something to take off with this one, boy, I'm going to show you better not to tell you. But no, if you're an artist, that's what I would think. Like, that's what y'all want to see, right? That's what you want to see a show. So because I'm particular about my money, I'm going to make sure when you come to see me, or if you come and entertain yourself with me, you got good music, you got good food, and you get a show. So, you know, yeah, I would never be able to roll with just one because all of them are great performers. And even though I've never been to a concert, just listen to the reviews or just look at the reviews.
But
they're great, period.
But you're blowing me away saying you never been to a concert. If I had to bet some money, about anybody that's been to a concert, I would have put all my stack on the table. I would have been all in that you've been to a concert before. I would have gone all in.
No, that's on my bucket list. I think I've done anything else, but I think yes, I have not been to a concert. Yep.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Leonard, what's your favorite concert of all time, brother?
Well, happy Love Day, y'all. I didn't hear you say Happy Love Day. Raheem. Happy Love Day to all y'all.
Happy Love Day, Happy Valentine's Day, and Happy Love, Happy Love to everybody. Happy Love. You gotta say it like that. Cassandra, what is your favorite concert of all time that you've been to? What is your favorite concert?
Andrea Bocelli.
Okay, now, Cassandra. Now, Cassandra.
Yes, I'm a huge. What? Y'all know I'm strange. I don't know why you doing that. I'm weird.
Now,
I love opera, classical music, and country.
Cassandra.
Oh, thank you.
Cassandra.
But that's who I love. He literally, I sat and cried almost the entire concert because his voice, like Barbara Streisand, it just does something to me. Those are just y'all. I'm okay. I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm weird. Those are my people. Right there.
Cassandra,
you're beautiful.
We went.
You're just beautiful.
But hold on. We done gone from no concert at all to an opera concert. Okay. We got a range here. We got a range.
Opera. Yo, Andre is one of the top opera singers in the world. And it's another young lady. She started off at like 11. I can't remember her name. I don't remember it. But you talking about vocals? I don't think you can even. Most of the singers we're talking about can't even touch some of the vocals off of these opera singers. I played in the opera when I was younger, so I already know about it. But I'm just saying, don't sleep on opera.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and my second one would be Celtic women.
These women are cultured. I like.
Yeah.
I like.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. Good, Charles. I'm glad. Appreciate that, brother. Cause woo. Okay. Now. Whoa. Now your second one was what? What is your second one?
Celtic, or you can call it Celtic or Celtic women. I love Irish music as well, and their music haunts me and makes me cry as well. I love stuff that moves me, and I mean there are other people that move me, but it's just something about certain cultures. Their music is like crazy to me, and I get totally immersed when I listen to it. And if I'm really upset, those are the types. If I'm trying to calm down or get my head in a certain place, those are the music that I listen to, especially opera, classical music. It takes me there.
Wow. Okay. I mean, hey, and one of the things, like, and I'm going to agree with Charles, it's good to have, because a lot of times we don't think outside of the box. A lot of times we don't think outside the box. We think that, this is the music that we're supposed to listen to, and we're not going to listen to anything outside of it. If it doesn't fall in line with this, if it's not R&B, if it's not hip hop or whatever, we're not going to listen to it. And so that's good. It's good to have that.
Can I say one other thing? The fact that, real quickly, the fact that I love classical music and I presented it to my daughter and my son when they were growing up. I literally took them to operas and stuff. My daughter played classical music the entire time she was pregnant with my grandson Dejan, and literally he is a viola, violin, and cello player that is, I mean, his professor is like, this kid is like off the chart, and he writes concertos already.
Wow.
Two concertos.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful. And again, that goes to what I said, outside of the box, thinking outside of the box, which is a great thing. I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say that it's wrong. I laugh at it because it's not the norm. It's not the norm. But then again, what is the norm though? What is the norm? Who's to say what the norm is? I would be totally wrong if I say that was wrong, because that's your norm. That's what you like. I'm not gonna speak against it. If I sit down and gave it an honest listen, I may like it as well. I know my wife, she loved opera, and I used to pick at her. What you want? What? Yeah, she said I love it, and the way they do this. And okay, baby, yeah, baby, that's yeah, okay, that's good. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I think people, like I like what Miss Cam just said. If the music that touches her is just that. It don't matter what nobody else listens.
Wow.
Like I said, I pretty much listen to music all day. I've seen my favorite entertainer a few times. I think probably that's some great concerts like Teddy Pendergrass and Stephanie Mills. This was after his accident. I've seen him before and after.
Yeah.
And because of his voice is so genuine, if you close your eyes, you forget he's even in a chair.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was outside. That one time I heard him, and they still sound exactly like the records they made.
Wow.
So also I seen Dizzy Gillespie.
That had to be amazing.
Last tour.
That had to be amazing, brother.
So that was like legendary for me. As playing in a jazz band at the time as a kid, being able to check out Gillespie in a kind of intimate performance type situation. So that was real cool to get to see someone who is definitely going down in history as one of the greatest trumpeters, jazz musicians.
Exactly.
So I mean, I really enjoyed that, but I was still in high school then. So that kind of meant a lot to me there because of the way those musicians all filled the room with their sound.
Yeah, exactly. Let me, as a matter of fact, before I do that, let me go to Badger. Badger, what's your favorite concert that you've ever been to?
Oh man, U2?
Okay.
I've been to a couple, and that's about it. So what a concert I always wanted to go to was Riverdance or a classical.
Okay.
Okay. I like indigenous music, to be honest, from all over the world.
Badger, who was that video you sent me the other day? And I said I liked it. It was the rapper guy. What was his name?
Oh, which one?
The first one.
Two different one. Jelly Roll.
No, that was the second one.
Jelly Roll was the second one? Who was that?
The first one that you sent to me.
Oh, Hobson.
Yeah, Hobson.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You want to talk about mind provoking?
Yeah, the Hobson. I was like, man, because truth of the matter, weird as it may be, y'all gonna laugh at me now. I've never heard of that brother before, and I listened. I was like, wow.
They're not gonna let him play on the radio. No.
No, not at all.
He's been out a long time. They're not gonna let him play on the radio. He won't get radio play because they control what's said.
The narrative, yeah. Because they want to control the narrative. The stuff he was saying, man, I was like, wow, man, this dude. I mean,
some of Eminem's songs aren't even being played on the radio right now because he's calling out all the nonsense. So there are some hip hop artists or rap artists that their songs are not going to be being played on the radio anytime soon because they're actually fighting against the system, calling out the nonsense.
WAP,
right? They'll play all this sex, drugs, and alcohol songs.
But we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to go to our topic for the day. And the topic of the day, we know the obvious. Let me go ahead and put the disclaimer out there. We know the obvious. We know what the obvious is, and to this particular question. But I want to go a little deeper than that. I want to go a little deeper than that and ask this question because I think that this individual is a very powerful individual, and this society that we live in would not be the same without this particular individual. Though I wish that she didn't have to exist in the capacity that I'm talking about. But Charles, what is a single mom? What is a single mom? We know the obvious. We know the obvious. So we're not even gonna deal with the obvious. We know that. But going a little deeper than the surface, what is a single mom?
You mind if I touch it?
Single, you mean a mother
Coming back to you.
with the father's nowhere around?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Nowhere around, no father at all.
Yeah. And like I said, we know what the obvious answer is. We know that. So we're not even gonna have to deal with that with the obvious scope. We all know. But what is that and why is she so powerful?
Well, a single mother is a woman with no man around. It's gotta be a strong individual for one thing. We know that. The reason why it's power is because the kids she's raising without the man is going to be what's in society soon. And their thoughts are going to be the same thoughts of their single mom, more than likely. They're going to be directed by that single mother and see the struggles that the single mother had to go through to get them where they were at in life. Whether it's good, bad, or whatever, it still have to be, she's going to be the imprint in their life. It's going to be a different imprint, just like, not, and we're going to just keep it with single mother, but it's going to be a different imprint if a woman is single and she has no man around. It's the imprint on that child, which is directed by her. And like, I'm not saying bad. No, I'm not saying bad. I'm just saying anyway, it is. She's going to be that nurturer, that fertilizer for them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's good. That's good. Toya with a T. Mute your line. Toya with a T. Outside of the obvious, and we all know what the obvious is, so we're not even going to deal with the obvious part of it. What is a single mom?
What is a single mom? Well, I was raised by a single dad, so I guess I really can't explain what a single mom is. But a single parent, can we say single parent?
Absolutely.
Or are you looking for something specific?
Well, we was talking about we was coming from the power that a single mom and all the different hats and all the different elements that she have to be and everything that she have to do in order to make it. But yeah, with your experience, we can see single parent.
Yeah, because some people's experience as a single mom could have been detrimental to them. So we have to say single parent because everybody has the concept or perception when it comes to the parent that they were with. So for me, it was a single parent and it was a dad, and that is the person who sacrificed the most for you. That's the person that you see who sacrificed their life, their health, their relationships, their sleep, their time to make sure they invest in you to keep it so that you're doing what you were going to do. Sometimes we say, I made a sacrifice for working 2 jobs. Well, the sacrifice should have been making one, so you could have been home to teach them valuable things. You know what I mean? But everybody has a different perception. But when it comes to being a single parent, I think not only is it about what you sacrifice the most, but I think it's the one who loves you the most. People get it twisted and think like we don't feel energies, and kids feel if you love them or not. Kids feel if you feel like you're burdened. Kids feel this strange, weird thing that we may do as parents or sisters and brothers. And I think the one that you're going to feel most loved by, which is normally the one that you could possibly be with majority of the time, that's the single parent to you. You may not acknowledge the other person because simply they didn't leave a memorable impression, and what impression they did leave with you, it's not the main parent in your life. So I think the single parent is the one that you feel that sacrificed the most, that loved you the most, and did the best that they can to make sure that they were upright in bringing you into this world and making sure that you were going to be okay.
Exactly. Okay, that's good. And like I say, everybody's actually answering the question from their own perspective and where they are, and I guess their own experience. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what is a single mom? What is a single mother?
Someone that I wish didn't have to exist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she is amazing. She's powerful. She does all this great stuff. But I'm just talking for me. I wish that I never had to be a single mom. It was hard. I did what I had to do. I worked the 2 jobs. I went to school. Everything that I did was for my children. And most of the times, single moms are not single moms because they want to be single moms. Let's make that clear.
Absolutely.
There are some there are some that don't care, and it's all good with them. But most of the single moms that I know, they don't want to be single moms. They would have preferred to have had a partner helping them raise their children. When I say a partner, husband, helping them raise their children, or at least having the father there. So I don't like the idea of being a single mom, which I'm about to be again because I'm getting ready to get a foster care child in another few weeks. So, but that's just my perspective. I don't like it. Yes, she's a wonderful person, but I wish she didn't have to do it alone.
Exactly. Leonard, what is a single mom?
I think it's anybody that ain't married, divorced. What's those statuses? And what's the other one? Widows.
Mm-hmm.
Those are single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people, the single mom thing is taking on a whole different context. It almost is a positive word.
Wow.
When it really just speaks to the relationship status of a woman who has children. She's
Mm-hmm.
single. Not because she has a baby, but it's just she's single. She's not attached
Mm-hmm.
to anyone that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some women are choosing to have babies now up front. They know they're gonna be single. They just want a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
you got all these terms. Single mom, like I say, is a whole new animal. Um, I guess I can go along with some of it. There are some striking differences between being a single mother and a single father. Um, there's a lot of information out there about the subject. I know a lot of people blame their whole life on their parents' relationship status for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's you know child business. But that is simply how I think of it. It's the relationship of a status of a woman who has children.
Mm.
She's single. That means she's not married. She's probably divorced. She could be
Do you
divorced
think do you
or
think
a widow.
do you think in some situations I'm trying to be careful how I say this, certain individuals groom their daughters to be single mothers and how they raise them, and some point could push the man out of the whole equation because of the fact that because some you have to be tough, you have to be strong, you have to be powerful, you got to be this, you got to be the boss B and all that stuff. Do you think that attitude, that mindset is a contributor or can be a contributor of single mothers?
It depends if that's how you thought life was, if that was your only example, but that's not the only example.
Well, I'm saying for that individual, it can be because if somebody is if a little girl is reared and her mother, which was a single mother herself, is always telling this little girl, you got to be the boss B, don't depend on nobody, don't count on nobody, do it yourself. And then this man coming to her life and she got all these defenses up.
She's still a woman.
That doesn't change the question though.
And it don't. To me, it don't change nothing at all because I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. I don't care nothing about who raised you,
Mm-hmm.
or the standards of how you were raised. I could care less. You still
Mm-hmm.
better be striving to be the best person that you can be. But one, I don't use the
Perfect world. In a
single
perfect world.
parenting. I think the
Mhm.
single parenting thing is overused. I think
Mhm.
children do better in with both parents.
Oh,
I do
absolutely.
believe that.
Absolutely.
However, but I know there are people who do great as single parents as well, because that was the situation. That was
Mhm.
just what happened, and the people still did the best they could,
Mhm.
and they reared the best children. So,
Mm.
we took it too far and allowed people to label a lot of these issues, and now we have this whole phenomenon related to being a single mother
Mhm.
that is crumbling in front of our very eyes.
Mhm. Okay, that's fine. But my question was just a tad bit different. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Welcome to a beautiful new day, everybody.
Good. Rico, I'm gonna take you back to where we started, then we'll bring you back to where we are right now. I'm sure you heard about the three voices.
Yeah, man. I avoided that, man.
I noticed you didn't come in. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I avoided that because there's too many artists that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I could come up with three and then come up with another three in a minute. I could go from Charlie Wilson to Smokey Robinson to, some lead singers of some groups. I even heard Batter say Silk and whether Charles said Silk. So it's it's so how many people when I get in the shower and try to sing do I try to sound like Rick James?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's I ain't even try to go there with that one now.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what is a sing? And outside of the obvious, we know what the obvious is. We know what the obvious answer is. So outside of the obvious, what is a single mom?
Man, everybody been hitting it on the head already, man. To be honest with you, it is a dysfunctional phenomenon.
Mm.
It was created. In the past, Leonard hit it on the head, man. In the past, you heard those words, and it was 9 times out of 10 a mother of divorce or a woman from being widowed. So you heard these terms, a widowed mother. I can remember at one point in time, we in the era where we didn't hear the word single mother, even though we saw some, that just wasn't a normal term. But now it becomes normalized and it almost sounds positive. Like Leonard said, Destiny's Child, independent women. Webby, Independent. He's singing about it, and they just went and wore it on their shoulders. Yeah, I'm independent. They liberated. Those words sound so good. Liberated from men. Imagine black women hearing that in the 70s, So you hear those words, single women, single mothers. And then I also think about teenage mothers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of them became single in the first place. That was another phenomenon that started. I ain't gonna say it started. It existed, but after a certain movement in society, certain things that happen in society that became popular. It became normal. It may have been a mistake because of vulnerabilities of young women being at home while the parents had to work and mothers being in the projects and working themselves and not having anybody to protect those 13 and 14 and 15-year-old girls. So you had the rare teenage mom every now and then. Now we got a TV show about it. Yes. A teenage mom is going to be a single mom. Because I'm pretty sure she didn't get married at 14, but she got a TV show she could go and broadcast that on. So now it's popular. See, the thing is we live in such a dysfunctional time now that whatever is outlandish is profitable because people want to see things for shock value. They need that adrenaline rush. They need that dopamine. And so the things that you see that's the most odd, eating couch cushions, being 600 pounds, being a teenage mother. Yeah, they getting the platform right now, and it's making it seem normal. So that's too much a single mother compared to what a single mother had no choice but to be in the past. Now, a single mother is a confused woman caught up in a phenomenon.
Wow, wow. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Most, I'm gonna say most, not all. Most.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, you know how people sometimes they'll stick on one word, brother. Yes, sir. Curtis, when you say good morning, sir, how you doing this morning?
Morning. How y'all doing?
Hey,
how y'all doing, man? That's blessed.
How'd the shoot go, brother?
Oh man, man, I ain't seen a house, the inside of a house like that, bro, since I was probably like 9 years old, man.
Wow.
Man, yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was in the country, man. Good gracious alive. Oh, brother, they still had the old dirt roads with the you know, normally you see a dirt road, it's got rock and gravel on it. No, man. It was sand, man.
Oh, you was in the country, brother. You was in the country.
Towards the clay. Oh God.
You was in the country for real.
I was in the country, boy. I was in Cobb Town.
Oh yes.
Little spot called Cobb Town.
I ain't never heard of that.
Man, down there off of 16, off of the 16, 192, past Dublin, all that, man.
You're down in the hang country.
It was wonderful, man. Huh?
You're down in the hangers country, hangers town.
Yeah, you know, the whole while I was there, I was like, Lord, I'm the only black man. I hope this don't turn out to be like no movie. You know what I mean? Wrong turn.
Exactly.
But the people was wonderful, man. The director was wonderful. The crew was wonderful. It was both coming together to put out a story collaboratively, man. I'm hoping I get a call back because I'm hoping they tell more of the story.
Yes,
you
sir.
Know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, Kurt, we talk about first. We're gonna go to the three voices. You got to take three voices, man, and combine them in this day and time. Come up with your singing voice. Mine was Prince, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. Those were the three that I would combine in the laboratory to come up with my singing voice. Who would you select?
Jeffrey Osborne, Luther Vandross, and I throw a slight hint of I always forget the kid's name from Boys to Men.
Wanye? Wanye?
Wanye.
Mm-hmm.
Wanye. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Now, Kurt, outside of the obvious, we all know what that is. We don't have to say what the obvious is. What is a single mom?
You know what? I've never. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Outside of the obvious.
Yes.
I don't know. Every mother is single if they ain't married.
Mm-hmm.
If they ain't married on conception, you're a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, ain't no other way to put that. I mean, you know, we can finagle it and say, oh well, you know, she got a boyfriend and they look like they gonna get married and this, that, and the third. But truth be told, you know, some of the old sayings be dead on. Mama's baby, Papa's maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I hate to say it. I hate to say that. You know what I mean? You hope that, you know, in terms of children, you hope that brothers, you know, step to the forefront, and irregardless to, you know, what is going on, how it's going on, you hope that brothers step to the forefront and be fathers, so that this woman does not have to do it on her own. But I mean, the simple truth is, you know, brother can walk away at any minute. You know, it's one of the things I love about my daddy, man. Even though, you know, he was an earth sign, I'm a water sign. Together we made mud. But he didn't walk away. You know what I mean? He didn't put my mom in that situation.
That's good.
You know, but I really don't know, Raheem. I mean, outside of the obvious, I don't know.
Okay. Cassandra, you there?
Yes.
I asked a question earlier and I want you to elaborate on it a little bit for me. Could a little girl that's been raised by a single mother herself, and she's always been taught you have to be the boss, you have to be this, you have to be in charge, don't let nobody tell you what to do, don't let nobody rule over you, you be the boss B, and you know what the B stand for. Can she be the reason that the man does not stay? Can she push that man out of the house, if you will, because of the attitude that she's been taught when she's growing up, be it right or wrong?
Yeah. I don't agree with that philosophy. I'm hard on women. I stand up for women, but I'm very hard on women because stuff like that to me, you just don't teach a child. I don't even like this independent woman. I don't need nobody. I don't ascribe to that. I may sound like it because I stand firm on the things that I believe, but I believe that being a man is the ultimate. It is the ultimate thing. Being in a good, healthy relationship is the most beautiful part of being a person, being a human being, being a woman. So I don't ascribe at all to this independent woman thing because if I mean, and a lot of men now are singing songs geared toward that. Yeah, you do your own thing, pay your own bills, da 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 da. Well, I don't believe that's the way God created it to be. And that's not the way I believe personally that it should be. So I definitely tell young women, don't teach your children stuff like that. Don't do that. And don't you feel that way, because if you do, you're going to end up being by yourself forever.
Yeah.
I personally, at 62, I still don't like being by myself. I'd rather be in a relationship.
Exactly. That's good. Charles, can it be, Charles, are you there? I see the top of your head. I see the top of your head.
Yeah.
There you go. Can it be that the mother is just expressing her hurt and pain of being by herself, and she unknowingly is passing it on to her daughter?
Yes, it could be. That could be a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a defense mechanism, also. And a lot of times you got to think when you're looking at a woman, a child, or a young girl, and person gets in their 30s and 40s, and they've been going through the same kind of situations, and they've had to make themselves or turn themselves into that person that is just a protective mechanism because they've always had to run things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the different relationships they were in. Then they become that person, and then when somebody else come along that's just as strong as them, then it's an issue. See, and when you go through, like, I know I went through when I was married, went through marriage counseling.
Charles, let me step in. Let me step in for a second. And I know your heart. I know you didn't mean, but I'm just doing it for my listeners. When you say come along stronger than you, you're not saying that the woman is weak. I don't want people, because somebody walk away thinking that you're saying that the women are weak, and because it's a man, he's strong. No. I just wanted to clarify that, because some people would take that out of that.
If you're okay, I appreciate it. But if I say stronger doesn't mean weak. That means you're strong. That person's strong also. So I didn't say. I said stronger.
I just wanted to clarify for the listeners. I wanted to clarify for the listeners. Yeah.
I get it. But going through marriage counseling, man, before, and the first thing the counselor, the one thing him and her, it was a couple, they asked, how were you raised? Meaning, was it a mother and a father? And who was the leader in the house? So that makes you think that that's the same, and the way he taught, and they taught us, is that that's the same way that you think now in your 30s. Meaning the woman who was my wife, her mom was the leader in the house, and she made all the calls. In my life, my dad was the leader in the house, and he made all the calls. You see where it bumps heads at? And it was just how we was raised. So the way you're raised does affect you, because that's how your question really is asking. How you raised, how it will affect you, even though you don't think it is. Because these people had been, and I guess they've been counseling for like 30 years, I think. And that was one of the first things they asked us. So the way you're raised, and sometimes the way you raise yourself, if you have to raise yourself, it affects your future and who you're with or not with. It affects you.
Yeah, exactly. Toy, you with a T, what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me. Toya?
Yeah. Well, interesting topic, because the guys have a valid point, right? Like, what makes me a single mother is the moment that I let a man lay down with me. Keyword, woman, let the man lay down with me and impregnate me without marrying me, means I'm the single parent. The responsibility of the so-called head holder, the leader of the two of us, laid down with a woman and made a baby, and then said, I don't want to be with her no more because I don't like her attitude and her head bob and her this, that, and third, and that ran me off.
Rico.
No. No. See, I got a lot of nephews. And I got about 17 of them. I got about 3, 4, 5 nieces. So I'm surrounded by the boys, but I'm constantly telling my men and my family that, you know, I'm probably the realest chick you're gonna ever meet. But the truth don't come from a woman. It's gonna be very hard, even your mama. It's gonna be very hard for a woman to tell you how to be a man, first and foremost. And I'm holding you accountable. You make another niece or nephew of mine without being married, I'm gonna have a problem with you because that's not what we do. We don't sleep around. And if you don't want to be with her and marry her, you better not put your little shriveled up little Peter whacker nowhere near her and make no baby. First, that's for the men.
Did she say Peter whacker?
And then I got to get to the girls. Now, if you foolish enough to meet a Negro in under 17 days and get pregnant, you deserve to get everything you get. You don't let no man dare put their Peter whacker in you before they made you their wife. Period. Anything less than that, you deserve to get anything you get. And when you decide to get together and let your Peter whacker play with her Tutor whacker,
what's all this
don't be sitting there for my you can't give to nobody after you done made a life. You done made a whole life.
Yeah.
A whole person. That you know when you was coming up, it was an issue for you not to have both parents in the household. Yes or not. So you better not dare do it to them. So we don't get to pick no sides in this world. Oh, well, what if the female, what if she head by and this, that, and third? Well, what if you a sorry son of a biscuit? Huh? What if the concept of what you think of a man mean that just, only thing I got to offer is some Peter whacker. Oh, I ain't worth 2 Denby balls and an empty bowl, but I sure got some Peter whacker. But you think that you're supposed to get all this for a man. You don't work, you ain't got your own place, you ain't got no car, you can barely take care of yourself, and you can't take care of no woman, then you gonna twist your lip, talk about what she ain't got, what she got going on, why she got an attitude, and why you can't be bothered with her. Don't get me started on this line. I'm starting right there.
Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, man. I mean, this thing got levels to it like everything does. You know, sometimes these women end up single because the guy that they put the baby on ain't the daddy. She lied. She don't know. But she was 100% sure. And the one after that, and the one after that, and the one after that ain't the daddy either. So, you know, she a single mother.
Wow.
Single mother with 4 more of them kids in the same situation. 6, 7, or 8 sometimes. So it's a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? It's a thing that's going on that we're not supposed to be doing. You know, yes, it goes along with the men and the women, but, you know, being that you asked the question about the single mother, that's just another aspect of it. The father might have tried to be there, and then all of a sudden he a mean now. They caught him on paternity court. I see about 3 or 4 of them now that you see scrolling down Facebook. They done made them viral for finding out they ain't the baby daddy, and they trying to hold it in, and the tears coming down their eyes. And when she asked them how they feel, their voice cracking. On Maury, the one they wanted to be fathers. They ain't have no choice because she was doing what Toya said. She made her trains. I'm pretty sure she probably gonna be a single mother if that's the way she getting down. She got a whole link of Peter whackers just coming down the track like a locomotive.
What's this Peter whacker talk we talking about?
She just having a fun. You know, but the thing is about it, people say that it ain't no there's no book to how you raise a family, how you raise a child, but at the same time, it's still some common sense.
Yeah,
that shows you that there's a lack of standards, and somewhere people aren't being taught, not only in relationships as far as trying to be in love and start a family, but just in relationships with being social with people. You got to learn how to communicate. You got to learn how to cooperate. And at the same time, is one more that I want to think of. You gotta be open-minded. You know, if a person is not willing to be able to cooperate or communicate, then what's the odds of them being with somebody that's gonna leave them in a situation where they may be single?
Exactly.
So if those things are missing and they aren't taught properly, then you see what's going on today. You see a lot of children wondering why their parents didn't get together, and it's because the parents didn't get together for the right reason.
And one of the worst things, I was gonna use another word, but I say worse. One of the worst things that I've ever seen is a child that's sitting there confused. Why why daddy don't love me? It's not that daddy didn't love you. Mama just wouldn't even didn't keep daddy around or push daddy out the house or whatever. And it could have been him. He could have been just a sorry dude too. Now dudes are sorry too. And it could have been him that was so terribly sorry and just left. He got babies here, there, and so there's two sides to this coin, man. There's, I don't want to get on here like we bashing the women, because there's some sorry dudes out there, man, that's dropping babies all over the place, and they don't have any interest.
It's funny you say that, because when I was younger, I was more on the side of women because I saw more sorry dudes. But then it seemed like after the mid '80s, right after crack hit, it seemed like in soap operas got popular, and then all of a sudden they came out with night soap operas, and they had Dynasty and Dallas, and every night Falcon Crest. It seemed like women started turning more into these characters that was like, you know what, I'm fixing to be in charge now. I'm fixing to be dominant. And little by little, you seen that mindset take over, and the acceptability of some immoral behavior that was more or less on a win by any means necessary mindset. So now we're seeing that, and Charles hit it on the head earlier. The repercussions of that is you have a lot of men, young men now, that walk around and look at things from a woman's perspective.
Yeah. Good deal. Let me go to let me go to Curtis. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I had to hit my mute button. I don't want to come off sounding like I'm bashing women, But what has always amazed me, and just in knowing women, I've always expected for them to catch on to what was going on quicker than men. But what has always amazed me is what Rico was just talking about, and how if you just pay attention, particularly in our culture, there has always been this push for our women to be independent of our men. You don't hear that push in any other culture. I mean, if you really, play it or recap it, you don't hear that type of message or see that type of message in any other culture other than the African American experience. You don't see it being utilized as a tool to make money. You don't see it being utilized as a tool to engage the way a given male, female couple, whatever, should be laid out. And I've always wow, once I started, catching on to certain things, I'm like, wow, there's really a push, to keep me from Cassandra. There's a concerted effort to keep me from Cassandra, to always make me feel less than, and pose a fraudulent look that Cassandra is equal to. We the only culture in America where that is put in the front so that everybody can view.
Wow.
So I've always thought about that, man. I mean, that was a little off topic, but I process human behavior and how folks are literally making money predominantly off of human behavior, or creating this behavior that says that this is acceptable. You know, Rico was just talking what he was talking about in the human services world. We call it like the extreme age. When you sit around talking to some human services professionals, this age has become extreme. So everything has to be done, or the thought is everything has to be done on a heightened level. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know how to process this topic. I just always thought that our women would catch on to it before the men did.
Good deal. Good deal.
I've always thought about that.
Let me go to and let me go to Monique. Monique, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Monique, thank you for that. I definitely appreciate it. Rich title sponsor. Appreciate that. They just gave us some props on the thing here. Monique, we're talking about and outside of the obvious. I know you've been listening for a minute, so you know where we are. Outside of the obvious, though, what is a single mom? What is a single mom?
I guess a woman is not married and have children. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that you know, it feels like it's becoming a badge of honor. And I'll say this, you know, I was a single mother. You know, I was almost 30. You know, and you know, I was, you know, even, you know, kind of embarrassed, you know, a little because of my age. You know, because normally, you know, you kind of look at that particular time. I was looking at in the way that I came up. You know, it was like you're 18, 19, 20, 21, you know, and, you know, here I'm almost 30, you know, so, and, you know, and I had people in my ear, you know, they was like, oh, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You strong, you can do it. And, you know, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And, it was just a lot of obstacles, you know, as a single parent. And, you know, and I only had one. And, you know, and I looked at women that had more than one. I was like, oh my gosh. And, you know, and I only had one because I didn't want to do that because I was raised with two parents. And I saw the effect of my child not having a two-parent home.
Wow.
You know, and but you know, when I look at, you know, the big scope of it, you know, it's always been single mom. You know, I mean, may it been voluntary or involuntary, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. That's not anything new. You know, even from you know, from the biblical, from the transatlantic. You know, it's just that now it is being, you know, just honored, you know, where before it was, you know, you were made to feel ashamed, you know, because of it.
Wow.
So that's my take on it.
Good deal. Cassandra, what is the effect, or what do you think the major effect is on the community, if at all? And Leonard, come to you next. Single moms. Does it have any effect on the community?
It definitely does, because when you have children that are being unattended to a lot of the times, especially as they get older, You know, there's no babysitter or going over to Miss Nanny house till your mama gets off. That don't happen no more. The kids are in the house. Are they on the street doing what they want to do? And so we have an increase in the crime rate. And we can deny it all we want, but the bottom line is most of our kids, especially our teens and middle school, high school that are getting into trouble, they're from single parent homes. You can't change that. That's just the truth, and we have to deal with it. It's just the truth. So it has had a detrimental effect on the Black community because we're the ones mainly with the single parent homes. I'm just saying, where the mothers are working 2 jobs and sometimes going to school, and they have no support system to help them raise their child. I'm not saying all parents don't, but the majority of Black families don't have that support system.
Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Like I said, everybody got their own what they bring to it. But I think that sometimes we go overboard with it because of race in our culture. I think because people have always used race to make a point. And the point of the matter is when people lack values and ethics to control their behavior, you get a result like we have. So let's first of all dispel this notion like this is a Black issue. There's plenty of single mothers that are white. Plenty. That you will never see the statistics on unless you look. So let's dispel this notion that this is somehow our problem, because it's not. This is a problem with anyone having kids or being or exploiting their sexuality to the point where they have unwanted pregnancies. Unwanted pregnancy is not a Black thing. So first of all, let's tear down that whole race bias. Why are young girls making these moves that they're making that's causing them to be single parents? Because in actuality, it takes 2 to make 1. So you got with somebody sometime to make 1. So now your situation then is, why are you not in a relationship? I guarantee you, if you change the value towards certain things, the community's values will change. It's a value issue. It's not a race issue. You're not one. We need to talk about neglectful parents, because there are plenty of single mothers, like I said before, that do. My mother was a single mother. My father died. That don't give me no excuse not to be a better person. She did the best she could. So there are situations, and we keep attributing, like I said, one, you should not be, you don't take nothing to be no mama or no daddy. Because that takes nothing to do. That's no accomplishment. You just screwing. That's how that works. But when you don't put no responsibility around it, that leads to problems. Neglectful parenting is a problem. But that's not to say that is the biggest characteristic that's causing these people to be criminals. Don't criminalize them singly because you have this notion, oh, they came from a single parent home. Just as many criminals come from married homes too. Matter of fact, at one point, most of them came from married homes.
I don't know if I'm gonna go with that one, Leonard. I don't know.
If more of the population was married at one point, and you still had crime, guess what? Guess where them people came from?
Has the crime rate been elevated though? At a certain point, was the crime rate elevated?
That's more people, more concentration. Things have changed. Things have changed a lot. See, when you tear down those things that had it a certain way, they built the way they wanted to. What was it? The proper family was a married mother, father, and what, 2.5 kids? How you get half a kid? Anyway,
Lord Jesus.
That's how popular numbers are. But we need to address the value and the moral standards when it comes to irresponsible breeding of children.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input. What do you think about what we're talking about? What is outside of the obvious? We all know what the obvious is. We all know and understand what the obvious is. So we don't have to voice what the obvious. We already know that. What is a single mom? Charles, what's on your heart, brother? Rico,
I agree with. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I agree with some of the things Leonard said, but when you're looking at it, everything is caused by no order. Okay, meaning that a single mom raising kids. I think Cassandra said it. Somebody said that the kid is by themselves, unattended. Things then the kid can get into more trouble. A child that know that it's not a man around, and this is the things that I've learned. I've been married twice, and I've had to fight for my kids. Okay, meaning that they were never single mothers, even though we were divorced. You get it? They're only single because we weren't married anymore. But I was always in those sons' lives, so they could never say they didn't have a man raising their child. But I had to fight to do those things because I didn't want them to be the unattended child. You get what I'm saying? That got in trouble and did things like that, because that happens. And as we're saying, this happens a lot in the Black community. It does. Now it happens a lot in the white community too, but I don't think it's not my argument. Not saying it don't happen. It's just not my argument. And one more thing, because this is going to be a little bit off the subject. A lot of times you got guys who say the baby mama won't let them do something. Number one, baby mama is an issue anyway because you weren't married. But number two, you can go to the courts and get everything that a woman can get. What's up? All right, cool. She got a house. All right, cool. Sorry about that, yeah, you can go to the courts, man, and get every legal law to see your child that a woman. I know in Georgia. I'm just gonna say in Georgia. I don't know the states. In Georgia, because other states might be different. But a woman can be held contempt for not bringing your child to you. Just like anything else. I teach my nephews, first of all, I try to teach them don't have babies without being married. The second thing is that don't get put on child support. Put yourself on child support. Go to the courts, legitimize your child so you can see your child when you want to see your child. You got songs out there, my baby mama ain't, but she won't let me see my son. Well, how can she stop you from seeing your son if you're using the law too? In Georgia. In Georgia.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
Rico?
also, of course, Raheem, I had to go get the actual number. So let's make sure we understand that African Americans have these issues because 75% of African American families supposedly are headed by single parents. That does not mean that they don't have fathers in their lives.
Correct.
That means that their mother is not married, divorced, or widowed.
Wow.
Not that they don't have parents. It's just that they're not married.
Rico, he says 75%. That's a huge number, brother.
And that was between 2015 and 19. So,
okay. Go ahead, Rico.
That was the statistic that I seen online there.
Yeah, that's a huge number. And within that number, some of those parents or mothers are messed up. Some of them do have the fathers in their life, and then some of them don't know who their father is. They done been tested and they done told they've called 3 or 4 different guys daddy. Now they walk around embarrassed. And they got to live the rest of their life probably in the little town that they in, looking at these men, knowing that, man, I used to call that man daddy. And as a grown person, they got to sit back and realize how they mama carried themselves. You know, Leonard said something keto earlier about the morals and the standards and the values. It really goes back to home training.
Yes,
See,
sir.
you do have a lot of parents that's not responsible when it comes to raising children. I see it every day. It's a little boy running around in this neighborhood right now that I know he's lacking a father, because his mother, man, after seeing her yesterday, I realized, man, that she just raising. These children gonna be in bad shape. They're gonna be in bad shape. And I asked myself, well, number one, who laid down with them? Even though I see why they not with her now. But the little boy, man, he runs around, man, and he just, anything he plays with, he just tears it up. He screams for no reason. Sometimes you'll think he has an imaginary friend. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He just out of control. And his whole household is out of control. You could tell. And they are latchkey children, because she does work. She does work. But you could just tell when she come home from work, she out working. She ain't got nothing else to do. I ain't got time. So these children, man, they just do what they do. The little boy ride around and cuss and scream. Just erratic, just completely chaotic behavior. And I know it's from a lack of home training, because when she's around, he acts a little better. So, you know, I see this, man, and it goes back to, like I was saying earlier, you know, you have to teach children how to communicate, how to cooperate, how to function, how to process, and how to problem solve. Because you have some of these women are single because they got attitudes. They learned it on TV, or they learned it from listening to the women that were babysitting them that wasn't working. The ones that had men coming in and out the house, and girl, you got to keep you a good man on the side. I remember I was on the phone with this female one day. I can't go too deep into this story because it goes to show how low down I've been in the past. But I was on the phone with this female one day, and I heard her mom in the background talking, and her mom has grown children, all females. I got a Sunday man, a Monday man, a Tuesday man, a Wednesday man, a Thursday man, and a Friday man. She was saying it with pride. I was like, you saying this to your daughters? Your youngest two got 2 more years before they graduate high school, and they look just like you did when you was young. They're gonna be some tough pieces of work, and you instilling this in them like this is something that they should have an ambition to achieve. Look at me, y'all. I got a Sunday man, Monday man, Tuesday man, and this woman's single. She's been single her whole life.
Wow.
She got all the image, everything that you would look at in a woman and say, man, I'd love to have her, man. She driving a nice Benz and she still stacked, got it going on. Every time you look at her, she clean, she A1. But then when she opened up that mouth and don't think nobody's listening, or when men aren't around, people that she don't want to hear this aren't around, she rolls stuff like this off her tongue. But then the worst part about it is one thing that I heard it, but her children heard it more than I did. So now her children was 16, or the youngest two was 16 or 17 at the time. Imagine how long they've been hearing. I got a Sunday man, a Monday man, a Tuesday man, a Wednesday man.
Exactly. Wow. Toya with a T, what's on your heart, sis? Toya, are you with us?
I am.
Okay. This whole idea of single mom, we've covered a lot of layers here, but this whole thing about single moms, because Sandra said it could be very detrimental to the community. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you know, that's both. You know, the moms and dads. You know, it wasn't no different because I was being raised by my dad and my mom. You know, but ultimately, at the end of the day, no. I don't think there's no excuses to put it on. You know, single parents do the best that they can with what they have, even if sometimes what they do is maybe warped or distorted. When it comes to criminal activity, that's a choice, and it's often a choice because you're operating out of hurt. You know how many people got both parents and still do bad stuff because it's for attention? You know how many people come from good backgrounds? I used to live in the projects. And I used to live with other people in projects, but some of their parents worked and they had all the great clothes and this, that, and the third. They were such terrors. They were terrible people. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about kids. They were bullies, things of that nature. And even though my dad didn't have much of anything as a single parent, he taught me the responsibility of me. You understand what I'm saying? You got a responsibility not to be letting things get you sidetracked. It's going to be a lot of things that's going to keep you challenged, but you don't ever get against yourself. So ultimately, we can't blame it on the single parent because it's the single individual that has to pay the consequences of their choices and decisions that has oftentimes, 9 times out of 10. I don't care if your parent at the house beating on you. I know they didn't tell you go rob no bank. Majority of them. There might be 5% because I know some that'll tell you to go sell drugs because that's the lifestyle that the parents are in. But for the most part, the same parents that you want to act out for, they're not telling you to do things that's going to purposely get you in trouble. Those are often actions of yourself. So we have to let single parents off the hook, making it seem like they're the reason why their kids are terrorists. The kids are their own individuals. I think another thing we need to address that. Let's not get it twisted about black. It's ain't a black issue. It's a human issue with all races. And just because don't nobody statistically come up to me and tell me that white kids that go shoot up malls and shoot this up and shoot that up and do all this, that their statistics is so much lower than ours. You can't come tell me that the Muslim or the Asian or whoever, I don't care. You're not going to come to me with statistics. I know people. And when we look at the reality on people, everybody got issues. And it ain't no formula to keep somebody from being a serial murderer. Ain't no formula to keep somebody from being a thief because people want to do what they want to do. And we're not going to blame the single parents that come from the situation and try to do the best that they can. We're talking about the ones that do the best that they can, not the ones that's encouraging the wrongful doing. And again, we're going to say that's like 5%. We're not going to take the Maury's and the TV shows where they take an exploit and let that cover the 95%. Because a lot of people out here trying with just the best they have. And when we go out here and get in trouble as individuals, it's our own fault. And we cannot blame it on our single parent households.
Wow. That's good. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
What's on my heart in terms of what, right?
What we're talking about? What's on your heart? Where you at with this conversation?
At the end of the day, man, I just I'm a fervent believer in people do what they're taught to do. Some teachings are verbal, some teachings are by actions, but people do, what they're taught to do. And if you're not careful, what will happen is you will teach your children in the name of independence to, like Cassandra said, find themselves by themselves. And for a lot of people, from what I see, a lot of people don't know how to be with themselves.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous thing to not know how to enjoy life by yourself. I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to be with nobody or this, that, and the third. But what I'm saying is there's certain elements of life that you should be able to, even if there's no one there, right? You should be able to still enjoy the elements of life without having to have someone sitting next to you. You know what I mean? I took myself to the movies last Saturday. I took myself to the movies, took myself to dinner, and just had some time to gather my thoughts about my life. Because at the end of the day, nobody can live your life for you. You gotta live it for yourself. And I hate to make it sound like that, but it is so true, man. You gotta live your life for yourself. You know, now a part of that life that you live in my opinion, will have folks involved.
Oh, I see Raheem done froze up, man.
Right.
I wish I knew where Curtis was going. And Raheem, Leonard, you still on?
Yeah, I'm still on.
Okay, man. I like where Curtis was headed with that, man. I mean, you know, it's the way I look at it, there's no one key factor, but there are several key factors. Um, Curtis said that about people do what they are trained to do. Sometimes we forget that. We forget that that is the only way some people know how to do things. Uh, it's sad to say it, but some people only know how to get money and survive by selling their bodies. That's the reason why we end up with prostitutes. Um, that was the environment they came up in, and maybe it was glorified. Maybe it was it was looked at as something that was acceptable. And so, you know, that thing, it may not be a completely black thing, but just the trend of accepting immoral behavior, it is a general society thing, and that could go in so many different directions. I might make some people mad, but to me, I feel like in our community we start picking up more of that mindset and going in that direction after integration, after certain times in life, as we start adapting and saying that we were going to accept a certain culture, or we want to be a part of a certain culture. When we started trying to be a part of that culture, then we started reaping or we start going through the repercussions of some of those things. The divorce rate that you spoke of earlier, Leonard, you know, the single parent household was 75%. At one point in time, that number was very much in the opposite direction in the black community. It's pretty much still stable with white community back then compared to now. But at that point in time in the past, I'm gonna say in the 40s or 50s, it may have been totally opposite. More than 75% of black households had two parents.
And also, you know, that's a variable that a lot of people sometimes I think get blown out of proportion, because if you look at the statistics, and I used to do this some time ago when looking at urban statistics and policy making and things like that, and two-parent households are still predominant. And this speaks to the living arrangements of the children. So there's definitely some different variables going on in the African American community that may not be going on in other communities. Say, for instance, if you had a community driven by religion, you would probably see lower numbers of illegitimate children if you add a religious context to it. So when people sit there and try to make a story, because it's one of the best narratives that we have, you got to remember we use this statistic in determining whether or not children are at risk. If you know what at risk actually means in legal terms and what it means to the government, this is one of those factors. So it is important to know, because one, this led to a phenomenon, and this phenomenon became what our communities look like now. So somebody would say, you know what, let's put some numbers to this thing. Let's see how effective this is. How shocking is this information really when you look at it compared to others? There is definitely something going on in African American communities, but it may not be what you think. It's your sexual behavior that contributes to this as well. It's maybe that more Black women have their children as opposed to aborting them. That could very well be affecting those numbers. But like I said, when we're talking about single parent household, it only speaks to the government status of the woman, divorced, widowed, or married. It does not address all of the household where two people live together and co-parent their children who are unmarried. Because even if a man lives with you and you're not married, you're still a single mother. You're just co-parenting.
Cohabitating.
Or cohabitating in some,
yeah.
If you're co-parenting and living together, then you're co-parenting and cohabitating. So black folks have different structures, a lot of structures as it relates to what they consider family and all types of things that may be swaying these numbers. So
Wow.
it all, so there's our different things to look at us that are far more important than race
Hey,
in this
Raheem.
situation.
Yes.
I hate to interrupt, man. I know you went off and we had to take it over for you. But man, go back through your comments. And there was a woman that says that when she was young, she was influenced or when she was a teenager, they were sort of somewhat influenced to have a baby because they could get in the system and get their own apartment. And see, we've had that discussion because we've also said that some women did that and sacrificed the men for those benefits. And I remember Leonard was saying, man, I don't believe a woman did that.
Yeah.
Now that woman just told you.
No, I didn't say I didn't believe it because I know plenty of women who live on the system that way. However, it is not what people want, what the narrative wants it to be. To paint the picture of the black welfare queen, and that she's somehow doing this in lieu of marrying, in lieu of, but that's not true. She's simply adjusting to her behavior. Now you don't, at some point, like I used to tell people, I don't give nobody no excuses. When I become a man, I put away childish things because I was of the age of reason and of the age of being able and having a rational mind to know the difference between what is best for me and what is not best for me. So I don't even encourage like when you first brought up the issue, Raheem. I'm not sure when you said about raising the girl for some reason, I believe you made some issue about what you're telling your young girl about being independent.
Yes.
You should be telling your young girls to be independent.
But see, and yeah, I do agree with that.
Are you telling that to your boys?
No. But what I'm saying is this right here, and this is not me saying, this is what I've heard other people saying. I want to go to a couple. We got quite a few people on the phone. I definitely want to pull them into the conversation as well. But what I'm saying is, in our community, a lot of times, ladies single that are single or whatever.
Is the community, when you say community, are you talking just black people?
Yes,
okay.
Right now. For this part, yes. They would say, go out there, you be the boss B, don't let nobody tell you run it, you do this, you don't let nobody tell you what to do, you're in charge. And so they instill that. See, when you stand that to a person that don't have the maturity to understand what is actually being said to them, they would take that and run with it. And they'll be like, I'm just saying,
so that's a survival mechanism.
I don't even know if it's a survival.
A grown woman can't sit around waiting on the Negro.
I think it's better when you say survival. I'm not gonna say you're totally off base with that, but at the same time,
way of life. Way of life. Some is a way of life.
But why is it that they cannot? If a man come along and he want to be in this young lady's life, and she's so caught up and so caught on that ideal, that mindset, don't let nobody tell you what to do. You be the boss, be you, blase blase. What is he gonna be?
Well, I don't find anything wrong with that, because one, men need to be stronger than that. It's a man issue.
It's not.
Men need to be. Yes, it is. Yes, there is, because of the simple fact there are plenty of independent women that are in healthy marriage relationships, doing extremely well, and they're just as independent as anyone else. They just have a committed partner.
But see, it depends on what that partner is and who that partner is. Because if he just handpicked and gonna do whatever she say just because, then it ain't gonna make no difference anyway.
So you really okay? That's what I thought. I wanted that to come out. That's that. What do you call it? Help me out, Miss Cassandra. What do women call that when men are toxic or not toxic? Male. What is something about being a man?
You're trying to say male chauvinistic or something like that, but it has nothing to do with that. If a man gonna be a man, he's gonna want to run the thing a certain way, and if we get the right woman and they understand each other, then they're gonna walk hand in hand. Somewhere I read where it say that man is the head of the household.
So instead of being a powerful man to being able to control those around you in your environment, you have to force the woman
That's
to
what we're
take
missing right there.
less, to bow
That's what
down.
we're missing. That's what we're missing right there. That's what we're missing because it has nothing to do with control. See, you think
Well,
what I'm
what is
saying.
it?
What if you let me say? I'm going to try to tell you. What you're saying is the control thing. It has nothing to do with control. It has nothing to do. I'll use my example. I could use me as an example. It has nothing to do with control in my household. I'm not trying to control my wife. My wife has the right to do and think and be who she is. And I allow her to do that as she allowed me to be who I am. We come together and we talk and we communicate. And in that communication, if we can't come together and come to an agreement, then I'm going to look. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do it this way right here, baby. We're going to do it this way. We're going to try it this way. If it don't work for whatever reason, if it don't work, then we're going to go back and I'm man enough to say, I made a mistake. I made a bad decision. Let's try it your way. It has nothing to do with control. Teamwork has nothing to do with control. And when you start putting that's where so many people get mixed up. They start saying control. I'm not here to control anybody. I'm not here to let anybody control me. I'm here to, we come together collectively. We come together and we work together and we make this thing work.
But that's a partnership.
That's what I was trying to tell you. But
and
when you threw that thing in there talking about when you threw that thing about control, when you threw that thing in control, it threw it all out of proportion.
And two independent people come together and come into partnership, right?
Yes.
So why did you make the difference? You said that you made it seem as if somehow a woman's independence is what is causing the problem.
See, that's the whole thing, and that's the issue right there. A whole different conversation. Toy, I'm going to come to you right now, sis. Whole different conversation, whole different day. Because that independence, when you say woman independent, sometimes they take it out of control or they blow that out of proportion, and that's what the issue is.
Right. I need to understand what a woman thinks about that.
Toy, what's on your heart, sis?
So my question is, like, when you raised your daughter, what did you raise her to be? And I think you raised your daughter to be independent, right? And not to wait on no husband to come marry her and give her what she needs, correct? Or daughters.
Yeah, I got 4 girls, absolutely.
Okay.
But at the same time, I also, now let me answer what you said now. I also put in them to understand if the right man would come into your life, into your house or whatever, that y'all have to work together as a collective unit. That's what you see me and your mom doing, working together as a collective unit. I'm not saying, your mom ain't gonna push me out the house or no, it ain't gonna be like that. You have to work together. Yes, you can have your independent. Yes, he can have his independence. But at the same time, when y'all come together, y'all have to work together to make this thing that y'all have work. Y'all have to work together. Otherwise, it's not gonna work.
That's true. And if your daughter gets out the household and don't do that, how is that your fault?
It's not.
It's not your fault if your daughter gets out the household and don't do that. But I think what we need to understand is when we're explaining things to our kids, some things we miss. And some things they're going to take and multiply times 10. Remember when your parents said they're going to be you times 10? So they're going to take things and multiply it by 10. So sometimes we say, oh, common sense, but you got to teach them common sense. So first, you need to teach your kids not to be nasty, but you need to not be nasty. Because just because you're a boss don't mean you need to be nasty. You understand what I'm saying? See, this is the problem. You don't have to be nasty to a man, right? But as individuals, twofold situation. If you're a man, I met a dude yesterday selling some plates, and he said, the lady said, you a bum. And he didn't say anything back to her. And she was like, yeah. He was like, you said what? She said, you a bum. He didn't say anything. So he was like, well, yeah, let me buy this plate. And when he was walking with me across the street, he was like, oh, yeah, I woke up this morning. I'm married to her sister. And she called me the B word. And I don't like when she called me the B word, this, that, and the third. Now, they may pose him to be a man because he may, pay a couple of the bills or whatever, but the treatment he's going through, most men don't take that. So I say that to say, as the man, if you're allowing someone to treat you less than a man, that's an issue. And as a woman, if you don't allow someone to treat you less than a woman, why are you doing that to another individual, let alone your man? Because if you're being nicer to customers and friends than you are to your husband, that's the issue. And I think that's what we need to be trying to focus on. Like being a boss chick don't mean being nasty.
Exactly.
So if we're going to be teaching our daughters and our sons, okay, for instance, right? So being a man don't mean you got to smack her on her butt just to get her attention. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So like we have to explain, first of all, they got to have the common sense. And then when we explain to them what being a boss chick is, that means you don't never let nothing hold you back. You always stand up on your own. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why someone is teaching you to be a boss dude or a boss chick that has nothing to do with being nasty, being disrespectful, or turning somebody off of wanting to be with you. Most people are attracted to bosses, but they don't want to be with nobody nasty. So we got to keep this on perspective. Being a boss chick ain't got nothing to do with being nasty and disrespectful and making the other person not want to be with you or not be in love with you or not be in a relationship with you, whether you're a female or a man.
Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
And when we talk, I'm just talking from my experience.
Absolutely.
From my perspective.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to be totally transparent. I came from a household, a lineage almost, where there were whores. My grandmother was a whore.
Hey!
My mother was a whore. I don't care. I'm telling my story. I ain't telling nobody else.
Get that corner ready.
My grandmother was that one that had a certain one on Wednesday that came through. Another one came on Saturday. Another one came. Literally, her week was full. Some of them had 2 days, but for the most part, they were different men. And the thing that upset me the most as a kid is that I knew that these men were married. My mother had 5 children by 4 different men. Come on, I'm being clear with me.
Yeah.
I'm telling my truth. Nobody else's truth.
Absolutely.
And it affected me and my siblings. I am sorry, guys. It affected us. It damaged us. Because first of all, it was embarrassing because we knew these people and their families, and you sleeping with the dang husband. What the hell? So I made it my thing was I would never mess with a married man. I don't care. He ain't got nothing he can give me. So yes, I think single parent households, and I grew up mainly in a single parent, even though my mom was married twice, it was mainly single parent. And it damaged us, all of my siblings, all of us. It's 5 of us, all of us were damaged by that. And the behaviors of our grandmother and our mother.
Wow. That's good. That's being real. That's being absolutely real right there. Friday, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. Friday, what's you been listening for a minute?
I kind of just jumped in, so fast forward.
Outside of the norm, outside of the average, we know what the norm is. What is a single
mom? That could be split in different ways just by the surface of the word, a single mom, because you can be married and be a single mom if that spouse has to do business trips or have a job where he's never really around, maybe military. So you feel or take on those same pressures or struggles or perspectives as a single mom in the term of no one else being in a household but that mom, because it feels the same way in a lot of extent. Because even with 2 parents in the household, from a financial standpoint, it doesn't make nowadays doesn't really. You almost need the child to come out the womb working to make it work. So as before, it was like a benefit financially to a degree, but the way that things are now, even in a 2-parent household, from a financial standpoint, the struggle is still real because now you're working so much and then you end up with a no-parent household because everybody's trying to work just to keep a roof over their head. So from the surface, it could be split because you have the single mom who is single by term of not attached to anybody else legally, and no one else lives in the household. And then you have the single mom that feels those same weights and pressures because that spouse is not there to be present in that manner of what I guess the definition used to be from 40s, 50s, and 60s. And I just think that it has to be revamped in what those criteria are, how they determine a single parent or a single mom is redetermined, because there's other factors that could play in it that's not getting getting count into the statistics, depending on the angle that they want to try to push a narrative.
Good deal. Good deal. VP, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Just got off the road.
There you go. There you go. Hey, VP, I need to have your heart on this right here, brother. Outside of the norm, we know what the norm is. We know what the simplest definition is. But what is a single mom?
I'm assuming, because I missed most of the show. The definition is a mom that's single, like no husband, no father. Yeah. We've already. I'm sure you guys already said it based off religion aspects to it. So some people you could be in a relationship and not married, and they still call you a single mom and stuff like that. I think a single mom is either like a widow or somebody who's really raised the kid by themselves, like absentee dad, full on. That would be like a single mom to me, or without trying to put governmental titles to it. That's probably the best thing I could think of what a single, somebody who is raising the kids and breadwinning by themselves. I guess that's probably a good way to put it.
Okay. Is it healthy or unhealthy for the community to have single moms?
Which community? Because if it's Hollywood, then no, they need more single moms. If it's the NFL, they need more single moms. They need a reason to push pressure and make them feel like what you did, and this is the treasure you made from all the hard work, and not to cut people off or make people feel bad because they maybe relationship didn't work or something, but we know they use that to push their breeding grounds for superstars, athletes, actors, entertainment. Pain comes from being a single parent, mom or dad. And people have stories to tell that come from those things. I would vow, or even dare you guys to find a lot of these big people who are actually spotlighted, and they come from double parent households, or at least we know they come from it, because some people do live together and aren't married, and you don't really know the dad's there or the mom's there. But most of the people that's really famous out there, they come from single parent households, and they push that, and the media grabs that, and that's where me and Shay was arguing about what independent was, because then they can say, well, they were so independent that they were able to raise their son and their daughter or whatever to be, scholar athletes and this and this and that. But that's not what the role. But you can't, unless you can't push that on them unless they fall into that religious aspect as well. So you can't get mad at them if they doing that, because most people fall back, it's a Christian thing or a religious thing to have two people in the house. Or if you go across overseas, you can marry 3-4 women.
Good Lord.
So it's a religion thing. Yeah, it's an American thing for sure.
I love that
see
other
it that
aspect
much in other countries.
Brought to it, VP. I love that other aspect that VP brought to it. Like, see, the narrative is so important, because think about it. All them great performers that y'all love, that's doing so well, making all this money, guess where they come from? Single parent households. So if you're just spitting out what you being fed by the system, that you somehow gonna be less than, what about the other ones that just worked harder? That just decided they wasn't gonna continue to be stupid. It don't make no sense to be 50 years old still blaming your mama relationship with your daddy on why you such a fool. That just don't make no sense. So you ain't never been responsible your whole life, and you banking on blaming it on your mama and them. What my daddy did is what my daddy did. And I love what VP said. Some of the most tragic stories in child rearing Look how some of them turned out. They the people that y'all love and worship.
Not me, brother.
That
Not
make
me.
millions and millions of dollars.
They make plenty of money, but what are they promoting?
Well, it don't matter what they promote.
What is NBA
It's
Youngboy
their
promoting?
success. They were able to be successful despite the narrative and the picture that has been painted.
To promote, destruction.
And let me say this, and my thing is right here. I got some public system when I want you to read that, and we're gonna comment on that as well as this. But my thing is, where we are right now in this conversation, I think we really need to evaluate. I think we really need to evaluate what do we mean? What does it mean to be successful? Because
y'all got more excuses than the people that walked across the state line from slavery. Do you understand me?
But my thing is, what is successful? You know, is it that you have a lot of money? Is that how we evaluate?
We need another division so we can't call some people in our community successful.
He might stay in and out of prison and keep getting his boys arrested and killed, but he's famous and he's successful.
But that's just his life.
Drill music is okay as long as you're successful. It don't matter what the content is, as long as you're successful with that dysfunctional message that your mammy put in you.
Some people say smoking is this is not a good message.
Hold on, let me go this. We could take a left turn real quick on you. It don't take long to take a left turn.
But I think sometimes black folks have a tendency on being very deterministic in their thought, as if they are somehow kept from doing or being better than what was before them.
Well, everybody got their own opinion as to how they look at things,
right. But look at the evidence. The evidence says that it looks as if somebody is focusing more on the negative things that you do than the positive, and they have wanted to.
I don't know if that's a black thing though, Leonard.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about a black thing because black folks didn't come up with it. There's a system and an agenda. And you're being watched like you always have been. And if you behave a certain way, predictability says, hey, if this person is acting up when they this age and they ain't got no parent and they black, bam, at risk.
Wow. Cassandra, you was about to say something?
Yeah, I want to make it clear what my grandmother and my mother did. I hated what they did, but I did not do what they did. Exactly. So I don't consider successful money. I don't give a dang about the people in Hollywood. A dang, did you not hear me? What the people in Hollywood got. That's why I don't idolize anybody. There is no one with any amount of money doing anything that I idolize them for what they do. I don't give a rat's ass because it's not benefiting me. I'm just being honest.
Right. Nor should you expect anything else from them people.
My grandparents said it did affect me and my siblings. I don't blame them for what happened to us, but it was a negative effect. And if we are not realistic that the things that our parents did, it has affected us, we can go all the way back to slavery. The things that happened with slavery still affect many of us today in different ways. So, I just needed to say that because what they did, I didn't play the horror game like that. I didn't do that. And my siblings didn't do that, but it's our reality, and it did affect us.
Absolutely. Rico, public system, we only got a few more. We got 8 more minutes before we get out of here, man. This conversation, man, we need to extend this thing possibly over to Wednesday and continue this thing because look, public citizen wrote that. Read that for me.
Are you familiar with Tommy Sotomayor? Yes, I am familiar with that clown. He is basically a black conservative who has a lot of criticism or even hate for black women. He says women are the reason for the single mom issue. I find that kind of rhetoric not constructive. And it's divisive because his delivery is wrong. But the thing is, this goes back to white society want to accept their part in the influence they have on all of society, deadbeat fathers and single mothers. Leonard said a key word a second ago, the system. There's a system in place that sort of, it created this atmosphere. We talk about independent women and single women. Is it negative? To me, it is negative because who's going to watch those vulnerable children who are not mature, independent enough to stop that older person from taking advantage of them or influencing them when you aren't around the other 12 or 16 hours a day that you working and living your best life. That babysitter. Who's telling your little son that he really is a girl? And then your son want to be a girl because they seen this man go and turn himself into a woman. And they played on that and they influenced it and they primed it. Now all of a sudden that you have this set in motion all because of one atmosphere that existed. So I mean, yeah, it's very risky for any single parent because a single father has to be very careful of who is watching his children when he's out here trying to create a way of life or a living for himself. But Public Citizen said something earlier when he heard, I guess he was responding to Cassandra's question. And that really goes to show you why we have to have an open mind, because what she said, I've seen that in abundance about her, what her life, her upbringing was.
Yeah.
And I saw very few women come out of it, but more women follow in the footsteps. They say you reap what you sow. See, we use these cliches and then try to throw them out the window when people, well, we don't want to accept that some people might just can't help where they are. Maybe it does take somebody when they're 40 or 50 years old to finally realize, you know what, man, I never believed in myself because I never had a support system that showed me that I was worth something. I see it in these children all the time that are in despair. And I ask myself, when I was falsely incarcerated and I saw these people acting chaotic, and I asked myself and I wondered and I observed, and I said, you know what? That's a sign of giving up. F it. I don't care. I'm going to just do what I want to do. I'm going to just do what make me feel good. And so that's what happens when you got people that let people run trains on them, or men that just drop babies off. They get diseases and all these different things that they won't do because they don't have standards and more, because they don't care no more. Yeah. They gave up. And so we have to accept the fact that it ain't just something that's just weird and crazy that people think and respond because of the trauma that they came up from. But somewhere they were broken a long time ago. And when you give up hope, it's hard for you to wake up from your normal way of life that you have learned to cope and adapt with, the way you learn to survive.
Absolutely. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, y'all done put so much out, at the end of the day, we have to, at some point, learn how to be better human beings without all our judgment, without all our selfish ideations of what should be. When I hear Rico speak, Rico speaks a lot for the community and the well-being thereof of a community. So when you think about human behavior, you have to understand that human behavior will always be great. That's just what it is. It will always have some level of hypocrisy. It will always have, it will always present to itself that someone is greater and or better than another, and it is specifically as a result of how you were raised. I've seen some really good people in my lifetime who came from really good families, and as a result of human behavior and coercion or elements, environment, all types of things, their lives went in a totally different direction than what we think their lives should have gone in. So, I mean, I just,
it's a rough thing, man. This journey called life could be very complicated sometimes, Curtis. This journey called life could be very complicated, brother. It really can. Toya with a T, what's on your heart?
And
I'm sorry, go ahead, Kurt.
No, I'll just end with saying that At the end of the day, we have to return to an element where we have empathy. It's like empathy's been thrown out the window.
Mm-hmm.
You ever gonna do? Okay, what is that background, man? That's all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Toy, you with a T? Are you with us? Toy, you there? Friday, talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
I mean, it's good, and I'll try to watch and meter my words because I know we're trying to wrap it up. I could just dive in even more. But I think I would say to independence, as far as like girls coming up now and women that are already women now, there's absolutely, I think universally, all kids, male or female, should be raised to be independent as an individual person, being able to know how to pay bills, that you have to have a job to pay bills, that you have to have a house to live in, whether you have kids or not. So from that perspective, when you come into a relationship with someone, independence is not misconstrued in a way to like, I don't need nobody. But it's not a matter of you already looking at relationships wrong in the first place, because it's not a matter of needing them in that way unless you were brought up to be just like completely helpless. And I know a lot of times, we want to keep our girls at home until they get married. So they transition from home life and parents into their own household as a spouse. But, I'm not really sure where that concept and ideal originated from in the way that it's played out. I know that there can be pulled from a religious aspect to support that. But in reality, they need to be able to know how to, the basics, especially since now, from that perspective as well, they're going off to school. They're not literally going from parents' house to be a spouse, where you have a lot more of that domineering behavior of the male, because they feel like they need to be the spouse and the daddy, because that's all that girl knew, because all she was at home being a child. And so it's a lot of different aspects of that way that plays into it. But I think that from an independent standpoint, everybody should be able to know how to stand on their own. But that doesn't supersede the need of relationship and those standards and those ways to work together in a relationship to procreate. I'll stop there.
Good deal. VP? Oh, you didn't think I was gonna come to you, huh?
not after 10, I didn't. No, I'll keep it brief. I just speaking on, I missed the single mom thing, but came in on the independent part. I would, even men and women both can get into that mindset, but don't. I was telling Shay, the difficult part about teaching people or giving people an understanding of the independence is you don't want to make that your go-to. So if you're independent and you pay your own bills and you get your own stuff, and you do all this, you can do it for yourself. You need somebody else to come in there to help you grow. So if you think the person that's coming in there is supposed to be what you think your mirror image looks like, you're going to fail every time. Because you don't, I don't know the Bible verse, but it's the same, or what the book is, but it's saying the person forgets who they look like just as soon as they turn away from the mirror. That's what having another person is for. It's to continue helping you grow, because you don't see what you're doing wrong, your faults, or on and on, because you're too independent to see it.
Exactly. Wow. We're probably gonna touch back on this one again Wednesday, on Way Out Wednesday. Maybe we're probably gonna have to. But Rico, what's going on today at 3:00, sir?
If you missed today's broadcast or would like to see it or hear it in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Captain Leonard, your prayers out, sir?
Dear Heavenly Father, once again, we'd like to thank you for the grace that you've given us today. We hope that we have touched someone's heart, enlightened someone in a dark place, and given hope to the hopeless. Please lead and guide us everywhere that we go and everyone that we speak to, guide our words and our actions. These and other blessings I ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Anybody have anything they want to add before we get out of here? Everybody good?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy love. Good deal. Good deal. It is now 10:03. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:04. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And if we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow, take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please be blessed.